We're going to talk some rocks. Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography. You know that sneeze is getting left in. I'm your host, Jason. My other host is Tim.
Hi.
Our other host is Bill.
I'm the one who sneezed.
And our special guest is Bryan.
God bless you.
And we are talking Aerosmith. If you missed the previous videos, go check out the playlist link down below. And consider liking and subscribing so you can catch the next video. We put out videos a lot. We're very proficient here at ODD. Despite what people think about drunks, we're pretty proficient. So, we're talking rocks. If you want to see our current rankings, this is our current rankings. We all match up. No surprise. That is kind of a surprise.
Actually, it's kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Given what my thoughts were, I'm surprised we're still matching up.
I was thinking you guys would like Get Your Wings more than Toys, but we're talking rocks. Who hasn't gone first yet? Tim went first.
Bryan?
I think I went first on one of them, but I'll go first again.
It might be me. Well, you go ahead. Go ahead.
You're right.
You're a special guest. You, if you want it, take it.
All right. The album rocks for me. I did the math on the last break. Was the 5th album that I was exposed to by Aerosmith. I had never heard of it as a child. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know any of the songs off of it. I don't know what songs were radio hits at the time, but none of the singles were. I was not familiar with any of them. But when I did find it and got the CD, I probably was in middle school, circa 1995, 1996, and it became a mainstay in my CD player at home. And later when I was driving in the car, love this album. I'll start off with Back in the Saddle. I don't know the history of screaming like that in rock and roll, but this is the earliest song that I'm familiar with that kind of a shrill high scream on Back in the Saddle. I just think it's in your face. It's Aerosmith kind of waking up a little bit as far as kind of becoming who they're going to become. Back in the Saddle is a fantastic rock song. I still rock it to this day. I think that it has just a lot of force behind it. The lyrics are pretty okay. I kind of enjoy what I think sounds like a Western kind of guitar. Probably Joe Perry playing some of that clean guitar on the E string. It really brings it home for me. Last Child, again, more of that big city, Boston influenced alleyway type of vocals. I feel like this whole album, the vocals really just reached that level for me. Rats in the Cellar, for me, I could take it or leave it. Combination. That is the track on this album. That is, without a doubt, my favorite song on the album because of the way the guitars kind of just start the song off with just metal, just the guitar just really hitting it right off with that lead. Pretty okay vocals, pretty okay lyrics, but the guitar and that riff just really, as simple as it is, it really brings it home for me. Sick as a Dog, I also thought was a fantastic song, great lyrics. It's good to sing along to it. It's easy, it's fun to know the words. You can kind of sing along before it's over the first time you hear it, but it's not too repetitive to get there. It's predictable in a way that I think is satisfying. Nobody's Fault. It's another very, very good song. And the rest of the album from there, Get the Let Out, Licking a Promise, and Home Tonight. They were a little more, B-side for me, just a little less exciting. The first more than half the album to me is very, very exciting, with Combination just being the absolute killer for me on this album.
I'm going to go next because my notes are all fucked up and I had to double check something. So before I get drunk and forget.
Good call.
Rocks just rocks. It's probably the hardest Aerosmith album in their catalog. It's the first album without a cover on it. Who doesn't like Black Back in the Saddle? It's classic. I love the bass riff. Great opening track. Last Child is a top song contender. It's blues rock at its best. Got to get back to the real nitty gritty. Lives rent free in my head. It's just a fun song to sing along to. Mom, she a cooking, put the eats on the table. Rats in the cellar, you got toys in the attic, you got rats in the cellar. It rocks, comes in fast, hard, doesn't let up. That fucking outro. Combination's fine. Sick as a Dog is so damn good. I've said it before. The live bootleg version is so much better, but they do a good job on the studio version. Nobody's Fault, top song contender. Kramer's fucking wailing on those drums. Tyler's vocal performance is insane. Get the Let Out never peters out. Like, this album just keeps fucking kicking ass. Licking a Promise, just keep the energy going. And I love the na 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 part on Licking a Promise. Home Tonight is the perfect closer. It's slower, it's pretty. Still has some great guitar work going on with the piano filling out the sound. Still partial to See You See Me Crying is the best closer so far, but this one, Home, is fucking fantastic as well. Just like Toys, there's not a bad song on this record. I fucking love Rocks.
I'll jump in here at this point. You guys, my notes are pretty close to your guys's. Back in the Saddle's a classic. Last Child's a classic. Rats in the Cellar, it's a jam. Combination, it's a jam. Sick as a Dog, like, okay, this is maybe where it starts, like, maybe not my favorite. It's decent, though. Nobody's Fault comes, though, and that's a jam. That's just top song contender material all over the place.
Shit.
And then, yeah, the last three songs I felt were more in line with, say, like the first two albums, where they're basically kind of just blues songs. Like Lickin' a Promise, we've heard that one already. It's a jam, but we've heard it already. And I do find it interesting. Is this the first use of the phrase "get the let out"?
Like in general, or in Aerosmith mythology?
Well, like, because the
Surely
first
that.
time I heard the phrase "get the let out" was it meant that you had to, like, listen to some Zeppelin.
Well, I always took it as like, get your ass moving, get the let out.
Oh, okay. See, and I always, anytime I've ever heard that phrase, it's like, okay, we got to put on, Immigrant Song right now.
No,
I mean, that would get the let out too.
Yeah, you get the
I
let
took
out.
it as like a leftover Vietnam War reference, like to heal somebody from a bullet wound, like get the lead out. I'd never realized it. I never thought about it being a Led Zeppelin reference or.
Oh, see, and that's all I've ever known it as. So,
Mine was like, with your parents, like, get the let out, get moving.
Yeah.
Like
gotta-
take the weight off of you and be more
Quicker.
productive.
Get your ass in the car.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, get the excess weight off you and actually get moving fast.
Well, I'm a last child, so.
You got Rats in the Cellar. I'm glad you mentioned, Jason, was it you that mentioned the Rats in the Cellar, Toys in the Attic kind of? I never put that together. That's pretty good.
Yep.
I wonder if that was deliberate.
I think it was.
I never in my lifetime of listening to these albums have I ever put that together. That's it's good stuff.
They referenced Toys in the Attic on a couple albums, actually.
And then, of course, Rat had an album called Out of the Cellar.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Better album cover, too.
And
Wasn't
I
it
think
Rat
they had
later,
a song on
though?
there
Wasn't
called
Rat, like,
Round
80s?
and Around.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Was Rat in the 80s, though? Or were they 70s?
I think they started in like 79, but yeah, they're 80s.
They're 80s.
Rats,
yeah.
yeah, that's 80s.
They're right there.
Well,
with
I don't think they're
Cinderella.
going to have as many attendees at their Peace Out tour if they're still going to do one.
At
Oh, we
that,
could get to Rat. That's a fun
That-
little story. Yeah, there's like 12 rats right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Everybody who's ever been in that band is like, I'm gonna go tour as Rant.
I do
Well,
think one thing that I wish I had mentioned when I was taking my turn is there's some really cool vocal exercises that Steven Tyler starts doing on this album. For example, in Sick as a Dog, it has one of the coolest, simplest, easiest little drum breaks that I've ever heard. I love it whenever it gets to that point and it just goes straight to the soft and easy drums going with a little bit of reverb on it and the very slight rhythm guitar playing the reprise, and then the lead guitar kind of comes in on top of it, just a little bit more trebly sounding. But right at the start of that, there's like a small splash cymbal hit that it sounds like Steven Tyler's doing like a tisk sound with his vocal to match it. So that splash cymbal and the tisk sound together kind of like make a splash to open up that reverby drum break that just chills the whole thing out. I thought it was really cool that they put that in a song just to, I don't know, kind of break it up a little bit. And it so far it has not been in their formula to just, hey, you know what? It's not a drum solo, but it kind of is. Let's just break it down and just have the drums going with just a little bit of rhythm guitar, and it's nice and easy. And every time I hear it, it's like Where It's At by Beck. It doesn't matter. I got to turn it up. I just have to turn the volume up on it. It soothes the soul. But there's a couple of other examples like Back in the Saddle and Last Child where, man, he's just really going after it vocally. Just not held back anymore. Not really being restrained anymore. I don't know what changed at for Rocks, but I was just very impressed at the change that they made there.
Well, and this would be the first one they made after really kind of making it.
Okay, so this is like their first
Because
like
Toys in the Attic broke through. They had Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion. Those songs were huge. So at this point
Yeah.
now, they're
Oh,
like,
and by
now
then
people
they
want to
re-released the
hear
first
the next
album
one.
with Dream On as a new single.
Well, yeah, I mean,
So they were
that thing's
really
going to
big
live
at this point,
forever, but
right?
we've moved on beyond that. Now we're like actually in the subconscious of the rock and roll buying public.
So they're
Yeah.
like big at this point.
Well, like, yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, it's the same. We're at the mid '70s now with Aerosmith. They're
And Toys in the Attic sold like what, 3 or 4 million copies? Like, yeah, they're rock stars at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. 76 or 75 for Rocks.
76 for
76.
Rocks.
Yeah, they've made
No,
it
when
by
I
this
when I
point.
found this album as a kid, I was doing everything I could to find another, get a grip because that was my introduction to them. When I found this album, man, I was hooked. This was a very important album for me as a kid, and just those vocals, especially those first two tracks, very impressed still.
It's a solid fucking record. Like, I mean, this is top tier 70s Aerosmith.
Yeah, I mean, you could even argue this is top tier 70s rock.
I'll agree to that.
Now, I mean, 76, we're going up against what? Houses of the Holy. We're going up against Sabotage. The Ramones are out at this point. The Sex Pistols just dropped their album. You got the Clash and the Damned right around the corner. But you also got like Bad Companies out at this point, and you're getting your Fog Hats and your Foreigners and your Journeys are like right around the corner.
Yep.
Wonder what was going on that had them like kind of go heavier here. You know what I mean? Like, especially with Combination. I really can't get over just how I haven't really heard much else from the '70s that I'm aware of that it really just kind of goes for it like Combination does as a track.
Well, again, I mean, go back and listen to Houses of the Holy or Black Sabbath Sabotage. I mean, there's definitely heavier stuff out there. I mean, Rainbow Rising came out in 76. Yeah, Deep Purple's what, on Burn or Come and Taste the Band or something. Like, they're like, heavy metal is a real thing now. and it's in the arenas of the 70s, and like Montrose is out at this point, and like people are digging heavy rock.
And they must have either been inspired by it or saw, commercial success coming from it, because they definitely took a step from their other
Well,
albums when they got to Rocks.
well, and I mean, obviously, we'll get to the later career, but if that's any indication for your question, I'm going to say that they saw commercial success.
The tracks.
Yeah.
All right, Bill, what about you?
Rocks, released in 1976.
Shout out, Cowboy.
Shout out, Cowboy. Great year, 1976. Don't remember it. Wasn't alive. All right, back in the saddle. Best opener yet. I love how it builds. Solid single. I mean, when you have one of your most well-known singles as the opener, but it worked very well, I felt. Last Child. All right. There's some different sounds. This is good. I like it. Good, Aerosmith. Good. Rats in the Cellar. It's fast-paced. It's a good ride. And I really loved the drum beat as they were drumming along on it. Good, Aerosmith. Good. Combination. Sounds mildly generic. But it still has its moments. Instrumental seem very basic. Not good, Aerosmith. Not good. Ooh. Sick as a Dog. It's okay. I kind of liked how they held, some of the notes and whatnot a little bit longer. And usually I'll comment on how repetitive sometimes a song is lyrically. The repetitiveness worked in this song, though, in my opinion, compared to how some other bands do overly repetitive stuff. Like, no, this is how you do a repetitive line in a song and have it work. Good, Aerosmith. Nobody's fault. This one was really repetitive, though. I wasn't a fan of Nobody's Fault. And then we get to the last three. Get the Let Out. Oh boy. Please help me. Dear God. No, no, no. Not for me. Licking a Promise. Okay. So we regress back to the debut album. No. And let's see, we got Home Tonight. Okay. Not sure about the editing. Was this any different from what we've heard prior to this? I don't think so. It's the same shit, packaged differently.
This is where I'd like to remind our viewers, please leave us a comment down below what you think of Rocks. Unrelated to anything that's going on in this video at the moment.
Completely unrelated. And reminder, we are a completely unscripted show. No one knew I was going to say any of that.
Nope.
That's why everybody went.
Rock. This is, for me, a tale of two halves. First half, I felt like I had a lot of new stuff, new sounds coming through. And the second half was like, let's package up what we've been doing and keep doing it. Which, it's not a bad thing to do. It's just...
I mean, I'll give you that. It does have a stronger A side than a B side.
For sure.
It's, for me at least, and like what I typically listen to, it doesn't as readily the second half fit the bill. And it's what... Okay, if I'm gonna listen to any of those, I would just go back to one of the earlier albums and just listen to some of that.
I mean, I don't know. I could listen to this one all the way through, though. I don't think it ever lets up. Sure, the front half is better, but like the second half is not bad Aerosmith at all.
So we haven't hit the bad Aerosmith yet?
No, we haven't hit the bad. No.
No.
Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We'll make sure that was all out there. All right, now you can go and comment down below while the video keeps playing. Now you can say what you want about me.
I will say it's interesting. This is the first time they reused a logo.
Okay.
That's the logo from Toys in the Attic,
Mm-hmm.
which is not the best logo.
Not the best, and they still reused it.
Yeah, they still reused it, but, you know, they got commercial success. Why change it?
Figured they would have gotten some wings by now.
Yeah, they haven't gotten their wings yet.
Well, they're kind of there. It's there behind the logo.
Yeah.
Almost looking like a Van Halen logo. But
Almost.
we'll get there.
There's 5 diamonds because there's 5 members of the band. Still
Well, they've
kinda
already
rock.
they've got the same cursive writing from Toys in the Attic, the same logo all together, but that cursive writing still ends up kind of in their, modern logo.
Oh, yeah.
Still not a good album cover. Toys in the Attic so far is the only one that's, in my opinion, a good album cover so far, and they don't get a lot better for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anybody got anything to add for Rocks? This is a biggie here. This is the fan favorite.
Oh boy.
This is the fan favorite, generally. And I do believe it's
One of the first albums to ship platinum.
Really?
Yep.
That's interesting.
So Rocks is considered to be a fan favorite?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was kind of alone in that.
No, I mean you got Kurt Cobain, Nikki Sixx, James Hetfield, and Slash all saying that this is their favorite.
Yeah.
Take that company.
I don't know if Kurt Cobain can even talk anymore.
We didn't have to. He wrote it down.
Whoa, now. Whoa, now. You don't want to go there. All right. It's Bryan's turn to guess where you think everyone has put it. As our special guest.
All right.
Welcome to the show.
All right, so for Jason, I think it's going to go to the number 2 slot after Toys in the Attic.
You, sir, are fucking correct.
Okay, I'm going to skip on down to Bill. I'm going to say it's going to take over the number 3 spot for you. Does this mean you aren't sure, or you don't think I can handle the answer?
No. It means I'm not sure.
I'll come back to you. All right, Tim, I'm going to say for you, this is going to take over the number 2 spot.
That would be incorrect.
Number 3, then?
That would be incorrect.
Okay. Top, number 1.
Number 1.
All right, excellent. All right, so we're back to you, Mr.
Back
Bill.
to me. So
You didn't seem to have as many issues with it as the self-title, but
No. Number 3 would be the place that I'm gonna put it.
okay.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm going to say Bryan has it at number 1.
Correct. You are correct. Honestly, I didn't really know that was like a fan favorite. Again, going into it as a kid, I hadn't heard about it like I'd heard Toys in the Attic was this big, great album. I didn't really have any hit singles to go off of at the time that I knew of. So I thought I had found something. Like I told my wife the other day, that was like my found album of Aerosmith for me. I thought it was like a diamond in the rough. Like, holy crap, this is really good.
Well, you had back in the saddle. That was kind of big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was not aware of it as a kid as a hit single, like, Walk This Way, Sweet Emotion, Dream On. Um, and then the Get a Grip stuff, and realizing when Get a Grip came out, I had realized, oh, okay, I know some songs off of Pump. Some of those were on the radio, or my babysitter listened to those in the car or whatever. But I didn't like know what it was. 6 years old.
My closing notes say, just like Toys, Rocks doesn't have a bad song on it. The 1-2 Toys in the Attic Rocks Punch is top tier 70s Aerosmith. Maybe a hot take, but I'm going to have to lean towards Toys more because I like the more dynamic sound on Toys with Uncle Salty, Big 10-inch Records, Sweet Emotion. But Rocks is the one Aerosmith album that I need to buy on vinyl. No spoilers for anything coming up, but that's the one I need to get because it's a great fucking record.
I actually need to mulligan mine. Rock should be number 2 for mine. But say because my notes, and reason being, it has a lot of sounds that harken back to the original 2, but it does expand on the first 2 in that side A and have a lot of different sounds on it that it at least exemplifies and builds on. That's my bad.
That actually that makes more sense now. Tim and Bryan are aligned. You and I are aligned. That's
my bad. I was looking at the wrong record.
I mean, I could see the argument for either one of those being number 1.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. Yeah. Could easily go back and forth.
Well, up next is Draw the Line, which this is where things are going to start getting a little interesting.
I think you're probably right.
This is when the drugs start to kick in a little bit.
Oh,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, not in the good, cool way like Toys in the Attic.
So stick around for that. We're going to talk Draw the Line. If you missed the previous 3 videos, go check those out. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know down below your rankings for Aerosmith records. Check out our Discord. Come hang out with us. We talk music all fucking day. Show off your vinyl. And thank you, Bryan, for joining us as a special guest. So we'll see you next time. Be safe. Make good decisions.
Thank you.
Cheers.